Hello, hi, this is Mocha Nini, and here I am again with another video. I hope that you are cooling off. Excuse me, keeping cool. It's the AC is on here and it's not too hot as it usually is. I'm here in the Carolinas. I'm in South Carolina and it gets humid here and it gets muggy. So, but anyway, wherever you are in the world, I hope that you are either keeping cool or keeping warm, whatever parts you are in the United States or across the globe. But today I'm going to, and if you like the video that I'm showing you, then please like, subscribe. Please make sure you check out my other videos, and can you please give me a thumbs up and hit the bell. I appreciate that. That's if you're interested. But today I'm going to be doing a video on what it was like growing up in South Carolina, and I am 40 years old. I am the youngest of three siblings. I'm the youngest. It's three of us and I'm the youngest. But yeah, some people, they think that South Carolina is a boring state, but it's actually not. One thing about South Carolina is we know how to have our own fun. You know, it may not be all the things that maybe Florida or California has, or Texas, you know, the different main attractions like what Disney World, Carowinds, you know, all of just the different fun things that people like to do. And some people think that you have to live in the city to have fun, but here, I'm a Carolina girl. I'm here to tell you that we know how to have fun and make the best of it. But I'm going to be brief. I am a Scorpio, and like I said, I'm 40 years old. When I was a toddler, because I don't really remember about being a baby, of course, mostly none of us remember that. Then I don't barely remember stuff when I was like 5 or 6, but I remember some stuff. But anyway, my mother said that I was a very, very busy little girl, and I was always saying, look, Ma, look, showing her stuff, always creating stuff, doing things that I wanted to show her. And she said that my father used to say, why don't you look at that girl, see what she's doing? Because I was just constantly busy, always at it. But I was always creative. I was always creating things at such a young age. I remember in elementary school, we painted a plate that was a paint plate, and we put some kind of like design around it. My mom, she hung it up in the house. So I was doing little DIYs ever since I was younger. But I was I feel that I was outspoken, and I was a little tomboyish / girly when I was younger. I was quick at the mouth. I used to say things that I shouldn't say, which would get me into trouble, especially with my father, because he was a no-nonsense man. And of course, my mom, she didn't play either. But my father, he really, really did not play. And he's deceased now. I miss him so much. But I remember just going up to, well, not just going up to anybody. We went on a vacation one time to Florida because I have family in Florida as well. We went on vacation there. And I remember approaching some man that was out there. And I just was saying all kind of stuff too. And my parents, they didn't get upset. But I would think I was telling him that he needed to go to church, and I think he was drinking, and he needed to stop drinking, and he needed to get his life together. That was out of place for me as a child to say, but that's how I was. But at one time in 3rd grade, there was this one girl. She was like, there was a pumpkin, a little small pumpkin, and she placed it on her head, and she said, I bet you nobody are gonna knock this pumpkin off my head. If you knock this pumpkin off my head, I'm gonna beat you up. And I went right up to her and I knocked the pumpkin off of her head. But yeah, I used to like to climb trees. I just was very, very I'd say sort of tomboyish. But once I got into middle school, it's like things changed. I did a whole, kind of like a whole 360. I was quiet, I was mellow out. I did talk, of course, because I had a group of friends like that I used to, excuse me, like I said, the AC is on, I'm still sweating, but yeah, I had a group of friends. We would always you know, talk during lunchtime, recess. And I'm still friends with some of these girls today, but I only talk to my best friend mainly often. Nobody else I really talk to on a consistent basis like that. Here and there, I will, you know, chit chat a little bit, like on Facebook or if I see them. But in middle school, I would say slightly shy, but I was quiet. I was less, you know, quick at the mouth, and I was just more reserved, more laid back kind of type of thing. And I was into like movies a lot. I was a movie lover. Indiana Jones series was my favorite. I love those series. I loved watching Pretty Woman, My Girl, just all kind of movies I've seen. I've seen Waiting to Exhale, Jason's Lyrics, so many movies, and I was always in the movie store. I was one of their biggest customers at a young age, as I said in one of the movie videos that I did. I think it was my favorite 80s movies, because I love 80s movies like St. Elmo's Fire. I don't know if Earth Angel was made in the 80s or the 90s, but that was one of my favorites. Just so many different movies. The Never Ending Story, I used to love that series. Just a whole lot. But I used to get those little magazines. I think they were Tiger Beat magazines, and I can't remember the other ones, but I was mostly watching, you know, like Boy Meets World and 90210, stuff like that. I was in that, you know, type of thing. And then I think when I got to like 8th, 9th grade, I think it was like 8th grade. Yeah, I think was into those magazines in 8th grade. But once I got, I think, to high school, I was more into, like, I don't know if you remember the magazines, Fresh, Right On, Word Up. Oh my God, I love those magazines. I used to put the posters all over my wall. I used to have the biggest crush on Little Zane in high school, and I had a big poster up on the wall of him. I was heavily into R&B music. I loved the Braxtons. I love Monifa, Brownstone, Mary J. Blige. I stayed watching the music videos. I was just so into music, and I'm still into music like that to this day. And I don't know, I just love music. That's how it is. But in school, I was, like I said, I was quiet. I didn't really like bother anybody like that. You know, you'll have your little moments where, you know, there's a little gossip thing going on, and somebody will tell you something, and then you go back and tell someone. I did have those moments, but I learned my lesson, you know, to, you know, keep your mouth shut. And for the most part, I did enjoy school. I can say that much. I did go to some of the basketball games and a couple football games, but not a whole lot. I have been to a school dance. My sister, she's a little older than me. I think she went to school dances more than I did. And I did go to a dance in middle school, and I just sat on the bleachers watching everybody dance. And because I feel I'm more like a singer, and of course I'm not gonna sing for you, but I'm not a dancer, but I would like to learn how to dance. But yeah, I never went to any of the school dances in high school. Mostly was just going to like games and stuff like that. And then we have something here called camp meeting. We have that once a year. I would go there, me and my friends, we would get together, walk around, have fun. And I remember when me and my friends, we were like walking around, some guys came up to us with the video camera I think they were from Chicago, and they was just filming us, and I was looking like, what? We don't know you guys. We don't want to end up on the internet or anything like that. But yeah, and I did have this time where I did put in for like a pen pal ad. I think it was in the Word Up magazine. No, Right On. It was Right On. I think the lady name was Cynthia, but I can't think of her last name. She was the editor, I believe, of the magazine. I didn't think that my pen pal ad was going to end up in there. I believe I was a junior or maybe a senior in high school or I think I was a senior. I had just graduated. Let me tell you, be careful. I don't know if they do those anymore, but be careful putting like the little pen pal ads. I received so much mail from inmates. I could not believe the mail that I received from the inmates. Some were nice and some were downright very nasty and rude. It's just not something that is a good thing to do. You got to be careful. And yeah. And another thing, I was one of the 106 in Park type of people where after school, because I used to be on the school choir as well in like 11th and 12th grade, because I went to one school for 2 years, and then they combined two schools from two cities. I think it was like 3 cities, something like that, and they combined the schools, so it was one big school. And I was on the school choir. I was busy with that. We had a lot of engagements, but I had so much fun traveling all over, going to different places. I've been to Elizabeth City, North Carolina, Disney World, Georgia, singing at Charleston. I think Martin Luther King Jr.'s son was there, but I didn't get to see him. Some of the other choir members may have, but anyway, let me stay on track. I used to like come home from school, put my book bag down. I would start my schoolwork like I was supposed to, because 106 in Park was my routine. I would watch that, watch the countdown. I would do this routinely every day, and then I would do my homework afterwards. And sometimes, of course, it would be the same videos played every day, but I didn't care. I used to enjoy watching the guests that would come over there, watching Free and AJ cut up and just have fun. It was just a lot of fun watching, and I did that and continued that until the show went off. Until Roxy, I think it was Roxy and Terrence, they came on. I didn't watch it as much, no offense against them, but I just didn't watch it as much as I did with AJ and Free. But some of my favorite 2000 songs was, oh goodness, not 2000s, well, I'm counting like I'll say my high school songs. I was in love with Jagged Edge, Gotta Be. Oh my God, that was my favorite song. Case, Missing You, I love that song. What was it? There was a song by Truth. I think that was her name. I think it was Addicted or something. I love Mary J. Blige. Share My World album, that was my favorite. Monifa, I can't remember what cassette tape that was, and you would think that I knew because I wore it out, from the beginning to the end. She had the song Miss You on there. She did a song, I think that was a song with Heavy D, and she did, oh God, I'm trying to think, was Lay With You. It was just a lot of different songs, but I had loved that album. That was my favorite in high school, along with the Share My World album, Mariah Carey's Butterfly and Rainbow. I played those heavily, and yeah, I just thoroughly enjoyed my childhood. I can say that I had a great time. And then I grew up in church. My parents, like I said in what it was like growing up in church video, my mother, she was the devotional leader and Sunday school teacher. My father was the deacon. And in elementary to middle school, I met some really cool girls around my age group. Of course, it was short term, it wasn't long, and I had one friend who reminded me of Lila Fowler from Sweet Valley, because she just, her family had money and a lot of money, and she always had the latest cool gadgets, different stuff. She was the first one that I ever seen with, that's nothing major. She just always had the most cool things that I never seen. That's when the bubblegum toothpaste came out. She had the bubblegum toothpaste, and we used to go over there and play. I used to go over there and play with her and her cousin, and we would play with the Barbie dolls. She had so many Barbies and so many clothes for them, and just little foods and little stuff for them. And we used to play on the trampoline, and we used to always, my sister, and I think sometimes her cousin, we would watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles after church. We would go over there, And then I had another friend who came from New York. She was cool. She used to tell me what it was like growing up in, you know, New York, what it was like in like middle school. And she would tell me the different things, like how it was, and some of her friends that she had there. And then this other friend that I had, I didn't really talk to her all that much as I did with the other two, because it was one of the girls at church cousins. She would come like every now and then with them, but with the other two friends, their families used to actually come to the church and they were members. So yeah, I just wanted to just tell you little bits and pieces of what it was like growing up. And I did graduate. You know, I got my diploma, and after school I briefly went away for just a little while. I didn't get to, you know, do like how I wanted to do afterwards. I wanted to live like the college, you know, the college life. I wanted to live in a dorm, and I wanted to live on campus, but it didn't happen like that for me. Sometimes you don't always get the Cinderella story. Things don't always happen where you will graduate from college and graduate from high school, then go to college, and then you get your degree and you get married. It doesn't happen like that for everyone, but God knows our path, and we can always go back. And yeah, I just wanted to just tell you my story, and I could make a part 2, a part 3, 4, yeah. But I hope you enjoy watching this video, and please keep cool and take care.